Hi, cyber babies. It's Mother Love coming to you live and in living color. And with Mr. Kennedy, we have a thank you, first of all, for joining us today. Whenever you pick up this podcast, just know that we love you for being there with us and for us. And thank you to all of our loyal and dedicated subscribers. You guys have been awesome and you continue to be awesome. Don't forget to tell your friends, go tell your mother, your daddy, your cousin, them, go get Junebug, and tell them all come over here to the Mother Love Show because we talk about all the things, well, not all the things, the stuff that's going on in the world, in our communities, and in our families. Yeah, I'm nosy like that. Today, Mr. Kennedy, we've been listening to all the people with at the Republican National Convention, and even before it started in Butler, Pennsylvania, the 45th was shot. Okay, now this has been the first assassination attempt of a former or any president since Ronald Reagan. So there are many questions that are out there, and I would like to get your take on this, Mr. Kennedy, because you be up on the politic and everything and said, oh, don't, y'all better pay attention. What is your take on this when you saw this in action, the attempted assassination of the 45th?
Well, first of all, I couldn't believe it. When I say I couldn't believe it, is that, I'm not looking for anybody to be assassinated, whether it's Republican or Democrat, anybody running for office, because that's not an easy thing to do. And there's a lot of opinions that are out there about what people think should or should not happen in this election. But one of the things that I know that whether you like the candidates or not, one of them will be the next president.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have to hold your nose and pick a candidate, it serves you quite well to stop and think about it. Should I pick a candidate based on what I believe, or what I think is happening in today's society, what I think will happen in the next 4 years, to the next 8 years, the next 10 years, 20 down the line? Because the decisions that you make in November will affect your kids or somebody kids and their kids. So it is a reason to vote whether you like either candidate or not, because the reality is one of them will become president, and when that one that becomes president will make decisions that will affect your kids, the kids after them. So yes, it is important whether you particularly care for either candidate or not. It is important. And that being said, when I saw the attempted assassination, my first thought was, wait a minute, where is the Secret Service? They're supposed to be there to prevent things of this nature. And the first thing that came out from the politicians' mouths were, don't rush to judgment. Wait, get the facts before you start coming up with opinions or about what happened or what you thought was happening. Well, one of the things I thought when I was looking at it live and when they showed the instant replay, because since we do have instant replay now, I only saw one bullet that went by the president. Just one.
The former president.
The former president. I only saw one bullet go by him. Out of the 8.
You actually saw a bullet go by him?
I only saw one. Wait a minute. I didn't see 2 bullets go by because they did the instant replay because the cameras are rolling. Why was that not the case? Well, we only saw just one. But that's just one thought.
Well, 3 other people were shot. One of them died. The other 2 are not really in good condition. My question is, I just want to know this, how in the Sam H.E. double hockeys that this kid get that close to the former president of the United States or any person that's in politics to get and be able to shoot off one and hit the former president, one killed a man, and 2 other people were injured? That have to be something, really high powered. But they think we don't have a problem with the guns. It's not the guns, it's the people behind the guns. And people need to get that. Guns don't kill people. People kill people with guns. That's what they do. And this is when I was looking at, like you said, I wouldn't want anybody to be, in harm's way like that. And when heavy is the head that wears the crown. I know he shouldn't be wearing no crown, but you know what I'm saying. That's a heavy weight to be on you as president, and then vigorously running for another term because you weren't satisfied with the outcome 4 years ago, and you've been harping on this over and over and over and over again. It's always like, well, what am I going to do to keep them interested in me? Oh, let's have an assassination attempt. And I was like, It just looked way
Stage.
staged.
Okay, and the biggest when we talk about they had, I mean, one of our main topic today is 6 reasons that make you say, hmm.
Mm.
Well, one, first of all, what is just well,
But when we be on second of all, because you already did first of all. Okay,
okay,
no, go ahead. I'm just
well, I mean, going down the list. One that we were told just the other day that the assassination attempt had been they learned about a plot by the Iranians to assassinate the former president.
when
Okay,
did that? That's what I don't
okay,
understand. Wasn't
okay.
this a while ago?
Wait a minute. They said they learned about this a month ago, and after
Wait
learning
a minute,
about
who learned about it a month
they're
ago?
saying that the CIA just picked up this chatter. I mean, once again, I guess we're supposed to have amnesia because when he assassinated this uh,
The
Iraq, I
leader
mean,
in Iran.
Iran, when he was president, they vowed revenge then. So this is not a new revenge that they're saying that
You're talking about the Iranians.
the Iranians. No, now they vowed revenge when the assassination happened back then. So are we supposed to believe that they issued a new assassination, a warning or attempt a month ago? Because what we've heard so far is that they said that the CIA had picked up on intelligence reports that Iran was wanted to try to attempt to assassinate the former president for what he did when he was in office.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, when he was in office, when the action that he took, they vowed revenge then. So now did they just think to renew the revenge plot again a month ago?
And in Pennsylvania,
Well,
it should have been any place, but
well,
it's like a little too, it's like way too convenient.
I mean, see,
You
I'm
know,
trying to.
you have this assassination attempt, and listen, I
I mean,
work in,
that's what we're
in the
going down.
entertainment industry, and it didn't look like human blood that splattered on his face.
Okay,
Shut up. Go
okay.
ahead.
That's
I'm
why
listening.
I'm saying taking one at a time.
Mm.
Okay, one. Okay, now if they had this information that they got a month ago, and at that time they said that they increased their security a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the day of this rally, we were told just the other day that there were assigned agents, sniper agents assigned to that rooftop because it was the closest rooftop to the stage. That they should have been on duty 2 hours before the event because you don't wait until the event started and then say, okay, well now go put the snipers up on the roof. You see, that's when I say the next question that I'm asking is that I would like somebody to explain to me that we were told that these snipers should have been on that post 2 hours before the event. So how was this young man able to climb up there before the snipers actually get in their own position since they knew that these plots were out there? I
And
mean,
they knew how close it was. They knew how close it was to the
this was the
proximity of where
closest
the
one.
stage was.
This was the closest one, the closest building to where he was located at. So that's the first. When they said go over the reason. Okay, what was the shooter motivation? Now that's one of the questions that they want you to ask. What was the motivation? Well, first of all, by trying to throw in Iran, that would try to, I guess, to me, to get you to believe that somehow they had got to this young man and they had been talking to him for months or years, telling him that this is what he needed to do. Well, it would be on his cell phone. Okay, did he have a burner cell phone? And now we should believe that he had a burner cell phone that he was using with the Iranians to make this plot.
Mm-hmm.
That makes you stop and think again. Okay, what was his motivation at 20 years old? I mean, think about it. 4 years ago, he was only 16
He
years
was
old.
a kid.
16.
Right.
At 16, when the former president took office.
And I
And
thought,
so,
wait a minute. And then I thought, wait, hold on. I thought you had to be 21 to go and get a gun, to own a gun, to buy a gun.
wait a minute, I take
If
that
he's
back.
20,
Wait a minute, I take that back. Okay, wait a minute. It's 4 years with the current president that's in office.
right.
Okay, and if he's 20 now, so go back 4 years ago, he would have been 16. Okay, when
Couldn't even vote.
okay, the former president, when he took office, he was only 12.
Mm.
So at 12 years old, he looked at the former president and said, either I liked him, didn't like him. So for the past 8 years now, from 12 years old to you turn 20, that's 8 years
Mm-hmm.
that you were that upset about what you seen and heard from the former president that you decided that you should be the one that should go out and assassinate him.
And see, and now in his background, where we were reading, it said he was
Yeah,
20 years old,
yeah,
that he was a registered Republican,
yeah.
and he's 20. I mean, I just don't understand how these babies are so angry. Well, I do, because we've lost the sense of village. We've lost the sense
Maybe it
of
wasn't angry.
connectivity, and here he is, 12, 16 years old. And they said the people that knew him, that went to school with him, said he was always bullied. He was a loner. And how many times do we have to watch this over and over and over again with these shooters, these young shooters that feel disenfranchised, feel like they're being left out of society, feel like they're not being seen, they're not being heard, with all the advent of the internet, maybe he just wanted to be, think he wanted to be famous. I want to have my 15 minutes of fame. I'm going to do this, that, and the third. I'm going to shoot at a presidential candidate. How about that? Then the lady who was head of it, she said the buck stopped with her, that they decided that they didn't need to put any other snipers up on the roof because the roof was on like some kind of some kind of plane.
Okay,
and they couldn't. I'm like, really? Now y'all making this up?
Okay, wait a minute. I'll correct you. There were snipers assigned to that building. So, no matter how she wants to correct it now and say that they decided not to put snipers on that building, that's baloney. Because if that young man was able to climb up there that easily, I should believe that snipers,
trained snipers
would not have been able to climb up there as well. I mean, sometimes you have to just stop and think. Wait a minute, a trained sniper who's trained to climb up on buildings for the advantage that if something goes wrong, he can help prevent any bad things happening.
And then they said they shot him right away.
Well,
we can't even get his side of the story. We can't even get what his actual involvement is in this, or why.
Think about this. Now, they said at the time of the shooting, there were snipers at the building as well. So the snipers that were at the building didn't go up to the roof to engage him. They said an officer was climbing up the ladder where the sniper was at. Mm-hmm. The sniper pointed his rifle at the officer, and he climbed back down the ladder. Now, when
the officer or the alleged shooter?
No, the officer. They said because two people that were at the rally pointed out to an officer that there was a young man they saw going on the roof of this building.
And they saw him with a gun.
With a rifle.
Right.
And the officer went to climb up there. This is what we've heard. Mm-hmm. The officer was climbing up the ladder to investigate, claiming that the officer saw the man point the rifle at him, so he climbed back down the ladder. So you didn't think to inform the Secret Service and the people on the stage that there was a possible shooter on this rooftop. That nobody thought to say, wait a minute, we should call
somebody.
The Secret Service, not somebody. The people who are designed to protect the former president,
right,
when he's about to go on stage. Because if anybody knows, if you've ever been to a rally before, you don't know exactly what time the main speaker will actually speak. You know approximately what time.
Right.
So the young man didn't know exactly what time the former president was speaking. The fact, too, that there were assigned snipers that should have been on that rooftop that were in the building but not on the rooftop. So why even be in the building if you're not going on the rooftop to prevent an incident that occurred?
Now this is my question. The police people were saying that they were up there for 26 minutes, or the sniper was up there for 26. The shooter was up there for 26 minutes. In 26 minutes, you could not assess the situation and how
you didn't relay that information. You didn't, wait a minute, but if he was up there for 26 minutes, you didn't relay that information to the people who were actually standing around the former president. Mm-hmm. Okay, see, that makes you, even when you think about just common sense. If this young man was able to be on that roof for 26 minutes, the reason why he was up there for 26 minutes, because he didn't know exactly what time the former president would be speaking. So he had to wait until he actually came out on stage.
And how would he know that? How would he know that?
Well, see, he was psychic. So he knew exactly. He knew all that.
I know he's gonna come out. The 45th gonna come out. I'm gonna know when to shoot at him, and I'm just gonna shoot him through the ear. I ain't gonna maim him. I'm just gonna shoot him through the ear, and it's gonna be a little splatter of blood on his face.
But once again, think about this though. If he was up there for 26 minutes, and people are telling policemen and other people are right there on the grounds that there's
Mm-hmm.
a climbed up on the roof. So nobody alerted anybody else, is what I'm saying. So
Mm-hmm.
nobody else was alerted that you had somebody who was not a CIA agent sniper had climbed on this particular roof. That
Or
was a
SWAT, or any of them that are snipers.
anybody.
SWAT
You did
has
not.
snipers, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because both of them have snipers.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you did not notify anybody else. That's what I'm to believe. That's the
You
second.
just let you maybe they went on lunch for them 26 minutes, or they just were, but that's the whole purpose of them being in these positions, so that they can assess the situation and not sit up and wait. They got to be smarter than us, faster than us, quicker than us. And you're saying a 20-year-old kid got the drop with a clear shot 140 yards away, a clear shot, and shoot the former president, and you see 5 or 6 Secret Service people around him, and they're trying to get him secure. And then when you look at the picture and you look at how the Secret Services, if you look at how their heads are situated, if they had, somebody else could have shot him in the head, because his head was not protected when they were taking him off the stage. Even I saw that. And I'm like, I don't know if they're doing what is going on here. I mean,
Okay,
because
well,
I was really confused about it.
okay,
How
now
did this kid get to stay up there? And what about these 26 minutes? And it's like, I know we're working to get all the facts of the situation.
right,
We
and
found out who he was, where he came from, what he does, why is he so angry, this, that, and the third.
wait a minute, but even above all that, you had this is the closest building to the stage,
Mm-hmm.
the closest building, and now wait a minute, you had which tells me that they had snipers even further back, because there was other buildings that was even further away than that. But you had even expert shooters even further back, just in case. All the contingencies were taken, but on the building that was the closest to the former,
Mm-hmm.
the building that was the closest. It does not make logical sense that that building would not have been secured. And that when they did their ground check, when they like the last checks before you,
Right, the sweep we got to do,
the
security sweep.
last
I
week
got it. Mm-hmm.
before you actually bring them on stage, you want to check all your bells, all your whistles, dot all your I's, and T's, and make sure everything is set before you bring them on stage. That since he had been up there for 26 minutes, and people were now out there in the crowd was starting to discuss the fact that this young man was on this
Because people
rooftop.
saw him.
Yes, and people told police, so they did. So it wasn't like nobody knew to say, "Oh well, nobody told nobody," and so
So are you saying this was a breakdown in the chain of command,
no,
that they didn't come and say, well, okay, these people said that they saw it. At least look it up. At least inquire what's going
investigate,
on. Take it a
investigate.
step further, and don't make that mistake. I mean, he already had a target on his back from other people, and to have a target on his back from a kid 20 years old who was a registered Republican, something is wrong with this story
Well, I'm
right
saying
here.
the question I'm asking is that with all the rational thinkers out there, you want everybody to believe one that this building was left unsecured, even though they had sharpshooters that were supposed to be on that building on the rooftop. There were agents assigned to be on that rooftop. Why was they not up there?
One
Nobody.
of them, didn't you tell me? But wasn't there one that came up on the roof, and when
Not
the guy pointed a rifle at
not
him,
a
he climbed back down the roof?
okay, not a sniper, a regular policeman. A regular policeman. They said that the snipers that was assigned to be on that rooftop was in the building, but not on the rooftop. So what good are you in the building and not on the rooftop where you supposed to be if something
Or
should
how come they didn't have
fall?
more people in the building and the other people that were up to be up on the roof? Sweep the building and make sure that you got people positioned on top of that roof, so every angle is covered.
Okay, well
Every angle, every possible
now
angle is covered.
are you asking a logical question?
Okay, my bad.
Are we
I
not supposed to
forgot.
be asking
I
a
forgot my
logical
own
question?
rule.
I mean, the fact that one, they had snipers that was supposed to be on the roof that did not go on the roof. Now, they should have been up there long before the event even started, because you don't wait till the event started and then say, okay, now go climb up on the roof just to look around, just in case if something might jump off. You're already up and in place. We're not. Why was the other snipers in place already? Because women, because that is their job to be in place. So if something should happen, they're ready
They're
to
ready.
right then, not later. So you want me to believe that you didn't. the snipers that was assigned for that building stayed downstairs and inside the building, didn't go up on the roof, and they knew he was about to go on stage. That when we did the round check and said, okay, are everybody in position because the former president is about to come out on stage and start giving his speech? The group that was assigned for that building did not report back in and said, well, we're not on the roof yet. We're on our way up to the roof. Okay, I know we should have. Our plans that we should have been there 45 minutes before the event started.
And they should have been up there hours before it started.
I mean, whether it was hours or 45 minutes, but the fact that you should have been on top of that building before he actually came out on stage. See, that's the part. You break it down. We should have had people on the stage, on the rooftop before he came out on the stage. And now you want me to believe that, oh, well, maybe, they should have. But
you don't understand. I was on my sniper break. Okay. And somebody lost their lives. This is well, it's now been 1,000,000+3. The young lady down in Charlottesville that got killed, the officers and the people that got killed at the storm of the Capitol, this gentleman who was murdered out here at this rally in Pennsylvania. So that's 1,000,000+3 people that have died in his whole realm. And I say 1,000,000 because there was 1,000,000 people that lost their lives to the pandemic because that administration did not respond to it well. Now we got people, got young people getting run over and killed. We got young people wanting to shoot up former politicians, and we're not even actually paying attention to it. It's like, okay, one more sensational story. You think maybe it might have been that people were like getting tired of the 45th and waning, and they start talking about he and President Biden's age, and they want President Biden to drop out. Even the Democrats are saying the President Biden should drop out because of his age. And what? And the 45th is only 3 years younger than the president. So it's not like these are two young chickens. And this is really a serious battle for our votes and who's going to run the country and what kind of administration we're going to have. We already saw what the 45th wanted to do. We've already seen it. We continue to hear. Wait a minute. We continue to hear about what his priorities are, and his priorities are vengeance. It is not. He came out and said one thing about what he's going to do for the people.
Okay, but Mother Love.
I
thought we were going over, the 6 questions that people have about this. No.
Okay, go to what your 6 questions. Okay, go ahead. The first one was why. What was the first one?
The first question was, to start off with, was
what was his motive?
What was his motive? What made him decide to go up there to start with? What made him in particular say, well, I'm this upset that I want to go. All right, now that's the first one.
He was so upset, I want to be a martyr, so I'll take him out.
Okay, now, so 2, the shooter was able to get closer, how was he able to get that close? Once again, because if you look at the picture of the whole area.
Right, and it's showing where the shooter was and the trajectory.
That was the closest building to the stage, which just common sense would tell anybody and everybody there would have been a sniper, a CIA sniper, or a SWAT sniper, or state sniper,
some sniper, trained person
on that roof in case something would have happened, because that is the closest location to the stage itself. That's number 2. That is inexplainable why there would not have been the assigned snipers were not up there on their post before he actually came out on stage. That's just something, honestly, for people to think about when you say, well, we want to wait.
Wait for what?
Okay, wait a minute. They said waiting it out of fact because we can jump to conclusions ahead of time. 3, okay, why was that rooftop not secured? I mean, with it being
on a slope. That's what she said.
It says, while the Secret Service takes the lead on security of these types of campaign events, it's common for an agency to coordinate with local law enforcement. So now it's called to throw the local police under the bus and say
they weren't there to do their job.
Wait, they were there, but they didn't assign someone to be on the roof. So the CIA didn't assign somebody to be on the roof. So the FBI didn't assign somebody to be on the roof. The state police didn't assign nobody to be on the roof.
So they just threw the local police under the bus.
No law enforcement agency thought enough to put somebody on that rooftop, which was the closest rooftop to the stage. Now you supposed to believe all these people were that negligent. Wait a minute, they get paid big bucks to make sure that a perimeter and everything is secure. But
Right.
in this particular incident, that they did not think, not even for a moment, that we need to secure this location. That's what you are supposed to
See,
believe.
that's unacceptable to me because
Acceptable, just not true.
that
Just not.
isn't that just isn't good protocol.
It doesn't make, it doesn't even make common sense to try to tell me that for me to believe something like that when
Right.
that is just common police procedure to have done. That's what I'm saying. That's just common procedure that you can't pretend like you did not know that. And then four, when other people that was at the event start telling police that they saw this suspicious guy on this building, that they didn't that they didn't relay this
And
to
make no effort.
that women, not that about the effort, is that they made no attempt to reach out to the Secret Service that was protecting the former president before he came on the stage. Now wait a minute, if people are telling you that there's activity going on this roof, there's somebody up there that shouldn't be. Now the police know, so they didn't think to radio nobody else. I mean, see that's beyond belief for me to believe that they would have not if soon as someone would have said there's a suspicious character on the roof,
And there was more than one person
right
that said to them.
that would not have gotten back to the CIA that was actually surrounding the former president. Now, see, once again, I'm supposed to be just totally, stupid to say nobody thought to tell the other group what was happening, what they were seeing. That you want me to believe that nobody thought to do that. That they said, okay, it's activity going on. When the policeman went to climb up on the roof and he said the guy pointed the gun at him, that was still not a reason to call it, to tell the people on the stage there's a situation happening out here.
Has been compromised.
That there's a situation happening out here. Now that it's hard for me to swallow and say that makes common sense that they didn't too. Okay, even if you didn't know that there should have been snipers on the rooftop, the snipers were there, but they didn't go up on the roof before the event. So when was they gonna go up on the roof?
See,
some things are just you just
it doesn't make it doesn't it the dots are not connecting. For me, the dots are not connecting. Here's a kid that gets up on the roof. I don't know how he got the gun, and it was obviously a high power gun that said it had the
rifle.
capacity. Let me finish. It said it had the capacity to fire from 450 to 500 yards.
Yes.
And he was 140 yards away. So that was, that was pretty much a clean shot.
Point blank.
Right.
Which does not add up, no matter how you want to try to make it seem to make sense. But two, on top of that, is that when they were being told that honestly want everybody to believe that they didn't relay this to the CIA. Now they already know that they got death threats out on it, so they weren't gonna tell the CIA that was centered around the former president and said we got a situation that's going on. Let us clear this situation up first before you bring them out on stage.
Right.
That's just a little bit of common sense that you want me to believe that these trained professionals did not choose to act upon. And then when they were told by bystanders that this guy was there, now if he been up on the roof for 26 minutes,
that was more than enough time to get to him. But did they want to stop it? Is it a way to keep him? Is it a way to keep the campaign up high in the news? Well, now there's been an attempt on his life. He got shot in his ear, and he got passed through it. And the ear doesn't have a lot of cartilage to it, but that's not it. And I'm suspect about the blood splatter on his face, and it just doesn't add up for me. And the fact that the next day he comes out looking, I guess he thought he was triumphant with that big white square on his ear. They got little tiny sutures that you could put on there, put a little makeup on. He wear a lot of makeup. That was unnecessary. It's just like, I want them to see this big patch on my ear because somebody made an attempt on my life. I probably don't only think, shut up, mother love. But it just doesn't add up. It's not making a lot of sense. It smells funny. How did he get up on the roof? How did he manage to stay on the roof for almost a half an hour? People saw him.
But because once again, without it being, they don't want to call it a conspiracy, but a little bit of common sense does come into play. When you say he was up there for 26 minutes, people are mentioning it to a policeman. There's a guy up there who looks suspicious. So nobody chose to investigate it before you brought the former president out on stage. See, that's the part that you really have to swallow with a big gulp. You got to take a big gulp to say that you want me to believe that this building that close to the stage that should have been covered up. Now they say the protocol and the protocol that these when they subvert the area wherever somebody's going to speak at, but they gotta do their sweep and say, okay, these are the areas that we need to protect. These are the areas we need to watch out for because these are the possibilities where if there was going to be someone doing something wrong, this is one of the locations that they would possibly be at. Well, come on now. This
See,
building, this building. You had agents that were supposed to be on that building, but you have not explained why they didn't
I
go.
bet you they got paid too.
Why they were not in position before he came out on stage, knowing that even if you try to make this use of that, they didn't go up on the roof earlier because it was hot. Well, you know, and I know. Well, just before he went on stage, they would have radioed these snipers. Would have said, "Are you in place? Are you in place? Because it's showtime now. Are you in place?" Simple
10-4, we ready to go.
Simple logic. If we're about to bring out the former president on stage where he can be vulnerable to something happening because he's out in the public, that you didn't check with that particular sniper unit that was supposed to be on that building and say, are you in place? Are you ready to go? See, that doesn't even come close to making logical sense. That when you check to see if everybody was in place before you brought the former president on stage, and the snipers that should have been on that building reported back what? We're in place, and they were still downstairs, they were not on the roof.
So see, that's a really big gap right there. For those 26 minutes or however long that they're going to say that this happened, it was enough time for them to have been notified that the scenario has changed. Now people are seeing a person up on the roof with a gun. He pointed the gun at a local police officer who went back down off the building and said, look, there's some stuff going on up here. Somebody needs to do something.
Nobody reported that to the agents that were standing around the former president. See, that takes a lot for you to swallow.
Scoot a little closer.
I'm close. I'm looking at myself.
Okay.
I'm close. Okay. What I'm saying is that there's logical sense. When you want to say to me is that when they did the final check before they brought him up, because that is just common. It is not something that they only do occasionally. It's common before you bring in any kind of dignitary out to say, okay, is everybody ready to go? You're just doing a simple check. Okay, you're checking 1, 2, 3, 4. Wherever these people are located, you're checking in. So when these people that should have been up on the roof that had not went up on the roof yet, no matter what they were waiting to go up on the roof for, they didn't report back to you. We're not in position yet. That we're not a go yet. I mean, you think about when you think, wait a minute, isn't that something that in a routine thing that you go around and you check to see if everybody's in position because you're about to bring the man out on stage? That when they called to that building for the officers, that snipers that were supposed to be on that building, what did they report back?
See, these are things that we don't know yet, and the story is continuing to be peeled back like an onion, to see what's going on. There are multiple layers of this.
That's a major question that I will, because to me, then these officers should be charged with a crime. Because if you were not,
what crime?
Okay, wait,
negligence.
Negligence. The crime of negligence. If you were not in your position before this man came out on stage, what excuse do you have that you were not in your post?
See, and this is what I think. This is just me, looking at it like everybody else is looking at it, but we're going to all have a different opinion of what we saw. It's just too contrived to me. They have gone through so many hoops to keep his campaign alive, to keep it moving, to keep people engaged, and so, this is a pretty big deal. Somebody shot at him, and I remember him saying when he was going to start to run, he said, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and I'm not going to go to jail. Okay, somebody was shot at him. He's not going to go to jail because they killed him. So this just opens up.
To me, it's called, get rid of loose ends. First of all, now
you think the shooter was a loose end?
Okay, think about this. Just think about this. He was already trapped.
So you kind of think about what I'm saying. My theory is that they staged this.
Yes, because wait a minute. Think about this. Now they had him trapped on top of the building. for better or for worse, he was trapped on top of that building. You also have reported that you had snipers inside the building. You had other policemen around the building.
Right.
So instead of trying to capture this young man, so you could really find out who sent him there, why he was there, the things that would help for the future. No, you quickly took him out, so we never get hear anything about him. Why he would have been
Right.
motivated?
And people are going to make up stories as they go along because we won't hear his story. Alex Jones, remember Alex Jones, who was just
Yeah,
a horrific person, said that the kids at Sandy Hook was a hoax, and telling
yeah.
mothers and fathers that your child was a hoax,
Okay, but then he
and
actually
then he
went
goes,
to prison.
wait a minute, let me finish. He goes on trial, he's found guilty,
Yeah.
$1.5 billion, and what does he come out and say? Oh, it's Biden's fault that they put up all of this and they did this, to try to assassinate the former president, and it's a terrible thing. I'm like, dude, really, you can't even keep your stuff together, and now you're gonna come out here with some more conspiracy theories
Okay,
that
but
make absolutely no sense.
wait. His conspiracy theory too is also that nobody can explain that why there was nobody on that roof, why there was no police present, no security presence
Wait, the
on
local
that.
policeman went up on the roof, but he got a gun pointed at him. He went back down the
So
roof.
he didn't go on the roof though. He went up to the roof. He saw a gun pointed at him and he climbed back down. So when this happened, you didn't sound the alarm to all the other to every other law enforcement person in that area. There's someone on the roof. That would have been immediately. You would have went on your intercom on your walkie-talkie to let people know that there was a guy on the roof pointing a gun at you. That this would have not been said. I mean, see, these are the things when you ask how do things make even logical sense? They don't make logical sense. That when he went to the roof and he saw that the young man was up there and he pointed a gun at him, he climbed back down and said, "Well, I ain't gonna tell nobody. I'm just gonna climb back down."
Therein lies that disconnect, because I
It
don't
would
believe
not
that
have
a police
happened.
officer went up there, saw that, and went back down the
And
hill
then
and
who did he tell?
didn't tell
Who did he
anybody
tell?
anything. I'm just gonna go on about, well, is my coffee ready? Is it got 2 hits of espresso in it? It doesn't. It's not making sense. And for people to be dying and to be maimed behind these incidents where this cat is showing up, and and a lot of these are his own constituents.
Well, but then look.
This kid was a 20-year-old Republican. They said
Okay,
20 years old.
think about this, mother love. Think about this. And this whole campaign here. I mean, it's like the dog. We're chasing the dog, wagging his tail. Now you try to give us all these other possible scenarios on why this young man could have possibly been on this roof for almost a half an hour without people noticing, and then when they did notice, you didn't tell everybody else before you let the former president come out on stage. I mean, these are things that even in the best of scenarios doesn't even make logical sense.
It's still got to make it's got to make sense, and that's why it's called nonsense.
On why
let's move on to something else about the GOP and the convention that's going on in Milwaukee, and all of the people, the Republicans, and a lot of the people that were running against the 45th when he was out there, when he announced his presidency, he's going to run again, and they were talking about him like a dog, and called him all kind of names, and he was incompetent, he not doing this, that, and the third, when they were all on the same stage with him. And now it's like they sucking out of his butt with a flavor straw. And they want oh my God, wait a minute, Nikki Haley, she talked about him like a dog. She up there on the GOP stage giving her speech. What's his name? Mike Johnson, he's Speaker of the House. He's up there talking about his radical, what he wants to have.
Governor of Florida. The governor of Florida.
DeSantis.
When he was running against women, he never went hard against Trump, but he still was running against Trump. But now he's standing on stage singing his praises. Loves and kisses now. Okay, you won the nomination, so now it doesn't matter what I said about you. It does not matter what Nikki Haley said about him, about that he was too old, that he was incompetent, that all the drama that always follows drama. Oh, a shooting, drama. Oh, drama. It seems to follow this person, and
he is the drama king.
But we're supposed to pretend as though we didn't notice that.
And it's all of them. The what's the guy's name? Vivek. He was up there. Oh my God, butter couldn't melt in his mouth. It was just, oh my God. What's the other one? Lindsey Graham. All of these ones that was talking about him like a dog when they were, and I don't think. And then you make a complete about face and say, oh, I've got confidence in him. He'll make a president. He'll make a great president. He's going to do this, that, and the third. He has not said one thing except, I want to get rid of immigration. I want to get rid of the public education. I want to make sure that women can't make a choice about what their bodies. They have no control over their reproductive health or any of that. We want to get rid of all these immigrants that are just taking up the space and, causing our country to be going down in a, as he would say, a sugar honey iced tea hole. And they seem to have like a really short memory. This cat was talking about you, talking about your wife was ugly, talking about you was trifling, and you want to sit up here and he told them at an event.
No morals.
Remember, he told them at an event.
No morals. No
y'all still gonna keep. He said, "I don't care about you. I don't care about your issues. I want your vote. That's what I want you to do. I want you to vote for me because I plan on retribution. I'm going to make everybody who said anything negative about me, I want them to pay." So now they're coming up on the stage. So what you gonna do about these people? Nikki Haley, while they all sucking you up like with a flavor straw, they're like, oh, I just think he's just wonderful. He's going to do this, that, and the third. I was like, what world are these people living in? I was listening to his son. I was listening to his son talking to Nora O'Donnell, and I got to say, this woman, I love Nora O'Donnell, and but you could see what I could see in people's eyes, and she was really getting to him, and every time he went to answer a question, it didn't make any sense. It was like he was doing a word salad, and I kind of felt bad for him because I know he wanted to defend his father.
What I felt for is the American people.
You fading out.
I feel sorry for the American public that had to hear someone just simply making up a story. In one breath, you tell us that your father, was being threatened, but in the next breath, but they did, but why was he not secure? There's no reason that you can explain why there was not people there in the right spot at the right time. No more than it was a publicity stunt in order to try to help boost the ratings. Because if we look at it, the polls still show that Biden is 1 or 2 points ahead. Some of them show that the former president is 1 or 2 points ahead.
Right.
So the margin of error is right there where either one could still win. Is this the reason why they did this publicity stunt to try to boost the ratings even more just before the Republican convention? So they would have even more to talk about. Oh,
that's
look, to assassinate.
That's what
him. But we, as a common sense people, what is your common sense when you think about that?
It was just too orchestrated. And wait a minute. I want to know this. I want to know if the kid is really dead.
Oh, yeah,
I'm dead.
Oh, yes,
I want to see an autopsy report.
You know why?
With AI, they can manipulate anything.
The reason why
anything is not known, Mr. Kennedy. They can manipulate the story.
Yes, they manipulated this.
I want to know if he's really dead. Like in the Wizard of Oz, is he really, really, really dead, or just sincerely dead?
Mother love.
Yes.
Yes. Wait a minute. It's called closing up the loose ends. Yes, he is, because the dead man can't talk. That's why that.
So you think they actually killed him?
I know they actually did, because there's no way for him now later on to break down and say, "Well, this is really why I did it. This is what was going on in my life before."
Well, they could put him in witness protection. We wouldn't know.
Once again, though, you won't know.
They showed him. He looked like he was 12 years old. He didn't even look like an adult.
Okay, but what he looked like an adult?
Let me ask you this: how do you think? Let me ask you: how do you think this whole the whole Iranian conspiracy came up? We hadn't heard about this, and they said they knew this a month ago.
It's called wagging the dog's tail. You throw something else out there for you to consider. What I mean, and so I'm considering that. I'm considering, if you're telling me that the Iranians once again renewed their threat to assassinate the former president. Well, since you knew about this a month ahead, then it's even more inexcusable that there would not have been snipers on that field.
And disturbing.
And,
that's a word for me. It's very disturbing.
Or that it just is all a plot for you to believe that, okay, somebody's trying to harm him, so therefore he needs to be president because somebody's trying to harm him. I mean, how naive are we supposed to be? Well, if you knew that there was another threat, you claimed that you increased the security. If you increase the security, how could you possibly say that you wouldn't have somebody on top of that building? if you increase the security. See, once again,
But
one
see, that would have been a nothing
that
burger.
you
This
did,
way,
and then the next step, I don't.
that would have been a nothing burger, as they call it in the Republican Party. And the nothing burger was like, oh well, this is no big deal. Okay, but now you want
There's
to
no
make it
big
out
deal.
to be a big deal and stretch it out as far as you can make it be a big deal. Now, if he was shot with such a high caliber rifle through
Yes.
his ear, and you say that nobody else has seen the other, where the guy that got
You
killed,
then
or
they
the
show
two
you
other
any of the
people
other
that got
bullets.
injured. So that's 4 shots right there off the rip.
Okay, but what I'm saying, if the clips that I've seen so far
Mm-hmm.
only show one shot, and that one did not hit him. One shot that came close to him that they show when they were showing it right there at in the moment. They have not replayed the tape again that I've seen where they show, okay, well, here's bullet one, here's bullet two, this bullet went that direction, that bullet went over here and hit this innocent bystander, this bullet went over there and hit that innocent bystander, the other 4 bullets went here, here, and here. They didn't hit nobody, but they landed somewhere.
Well, they landed and
Oh,
took a man's life, and they landed
okay.
and his ear almost came off.
I'm saying
I don't think it almost came.
what I'm saying is that, and when I look at when they count the number of bullets, okay, they said it was 8 to 9 shots. Okay, one supposedly grazed the former president's ear. A bullet went into the other guy on the stage that lost his life. Another bullet went into another person on the stage. They're in critical condition. So that accounts for 3 bullets. Okay, what about the other 6 bullets? See, they haven't given you the account of the other 6 bullets.
Hmm.
Why you want me to believe your story? Your story has too many holes in it to make it seem factual. And I asked the question that I'm asking you, Mother Love, and I asked your audience: why have they not? Would the Biden administration be willing to stand up and tell the American people that this was a hoax? Would the Biden administration have the nerve, the the the
The
audacity
unmitigated gall.
to actually come out and say to you, this was all a stage act because here, A, B, and C happened. And this is how we can show you and explain to you why we know that this was set up. Because if you know that there was an extra threat being out there, it makes it hard for me to believe that you didn't take extra precautions. And one of the extra precautions was the most
Snipers on the roof.
the most basic, the closest building to the stage would have nobody on top of it, that you will leave the closest building to the stage unprotected.
And if he was a marksman shooter at 20, if he was a marksman, he would have shot him. He would have been assassinated.
Well,
Obviously, he really didn't. I don't know. I can't say if he really knew what he was doing because we don't get to hear his side of the story. So they can pretty much fill in gaps and make up the story as they go along. That's going to suit their need. So that's what I'm suspicious
of.
When
you think about it, immediately it came out and said he was a loner. Loner or no loner. That young man did not have the. I don't honestly believe that young man had the whereabouts to know where to be at on the fairgrounds, which building to go to be in place for this shot to have taken place.
And how did he know when he was going to show up to go to do a speech?
He knew what, but that because you announced it, because it's a rally. Because it's a rally.
All kind of big holes in that.
It's a rally. So yes, I understand him knowing that it was a rally going to be held that day. But would he know what time the former president would be speaking at that rally? No, because they never give you the site time to say, okay, this person will be speaking at 12:02 p.m. exactly. He'll be on stage. They don't give you those actual details because once again,
you don't know.
Cost security. No, it's cost
security. Right, for security purposes.
You don't know that ahead of time. So if you planning something, wait a minute, you got to try to plan around something you don't know the actual time that's going to jump off. What only fact that you knew is that there was a rally being held that day. You didn't know exactly what time he was going to come on stage because you didn't work for them. So, but by not working for them, how could you possibly know what time he was going to come on stage? Did you know that he could have been running late to go on stage? Could he arrive late to this event? So if he was scheduled to be on at 10 minutes after the hour, maybe he wasn't going to be on until 35 after the hour because he arrived late. Or because, when he got there, everything wasn't set up. You had to make those last security checks before you brought him out stage. Now, see, that's the part that they really want you to be done with. Is that
Let me ask you this. Do
last
you
that you're
think, let me ask you this.
projecting
Do
on
you
stage?
listen? Let me ask you this. Do you think the head of the Secret Service should resign?
Not just no, not resign. I want them to admit what actually
No,
happened.
she said she wasn't stepping down.
Well, whether she stepped down or not, though, I'm saying the American people can't be that gullible and say whether she stepped down or not that we don't know what happened. I mean, this is something that is like if you want to be stupid, just simply be stupid. Because there's no way that when you look at all of the details that went into this, there's no way possible that young man could have got up there, been up there for 26 minutes, and nobody noticed him at all. And then even when they did notice him, they didn't tell the people that were about to bring the former president out on stage that we got a situation that's jumping off over here.
See,
No,
it's
no,
just
hold
too.
off on bringing them out, and so that we can clear up this situation. And then the last and the most important, after this happened, he, the former president was only down on the ground with Secret Service on top of him for 1 minute. So in a minute time, now they took out that sniper. So you want me to believe that you assessed that there was no other snipers, there was nobody else
And
out there in
no other threats.
the rest that could have possibly been enough. There was just that one. Did you relay back to the president?
Well, see, and to
Former
me,
president.
let
Okay,
me
wait a
just
minute.
say this. I
Yeah,
work in the entertainment industry. I have been put in makeup, and blood splatters and what have
yeah,
you. And it
yeah.
didn't. It looked like something where what he was hit with a dye pack. When they're trying to make
Yes.
blood, because
And it just
human
splattered.
blood. If that had came out, it would have started running down. This came out and it stopped. It had
Well,
no drip factor. It had no drip factor, and
okay,
that's how
but
you could tell human blood. I look it up, Google it, and I
okay,
just,
no, but how would
I
it?
just don't buy
Wait,
it. Okay,
how
I
would
want
it?
to let's just move on to the
Okay,
next thing.
wait. I got one other. Wait a minute.
Oh,
These are the final thoughts. These
no,
are
you
my
should have said it before. What now? What, Mr.
the
Kennedy?
final thoughts is one. Okay, two. That you within 1 minute of this shot, these 8 shots, 8, 9 shots that rang out, that you call it all clear, and that you would allow the former president to stand up, tell the Secret Service in a sense to move back so I can see the crowd, so the people can see me, so I can raise my fist up to show them that I'm tough. That the Secret Service, when are you going to actually do your job? If you just had a situation where somebody was shooting at the former president, you gonna tell me that you said, okay, well now raise your hand up and show everybody that you're okay. Now, as we take you to the car for your safety, stop and expose yourself again to the crowd. Okay, then again, when you get to the car, stop and expose yourself again to a possible
Okay, well,
shooting
this part
possibility.
can go on and on and on, because it's going to be a new story by the time we get off the show,
Well,
and
I hope so.
start to do something else. What is your take on, because I guess the 45th was dangling this carrot stick in front of people that he was going to pick for his vice president, for his running mate,
Yes,
JD Vance.
yes.
What it could see. That's really crazy. Y'all better really, really, really pay attention to what this guy stands for. He is a racist. He is a sexist. He is a liar. He is just like the 45th, and that's why he got him on a ticket. Y'all better pay attention to this. This cat don't care about women's reproductive rights. They don't care about schools. They want
I got
everybody to be dumb and stupid. With DeSantis, what did he say? Florida is where woke goes to die.
okay,
So the
I have a
opposite of
question.
woke
I have a
is
question.
asleep. So people are no longer asleep. So you don't want them to know what the true history is. You want to tell your children and your grandchildren that you have the ability to change history.
Okay,
No,
I
you
have a
don't.
question.
That's why it's called his story. It's our story. You don't get to tell people, oh, if you're reading a book about black people and their accomplishments, or Asian people and what they do
Yeah,
and
but
what they
he's not
bring to
running
the
for vice
society,
president.
or you want to talk
He's
about
not running for vice
lesbian
president.
and
Mother
gay
love,
people and what they bring.
mother love.
Listen, no, listen to
He's not
me.
running for vice president, though. Wait a minute. You talking about the man who's not running for vice president?
He
Wait,
is
you
when he
asked
on
me.
the
No,
ticket.
wait. You asked me about J.D. Vance. No, you start talking about DeSantis. Two
No,
different
I just
people.
said he said
Yes,
where
no.
woke
Wait a
goes
minute.
to die.
Wait a minute.
JD Vance is going to be on the ticket with him for
Okay,
vice
okay,
president.
and he's from Ohio. He's not
I
from Florida.
know.
Okay, two different people.
I
Okay,
know, but they
J.D.
still
Vance.
all crazy.
Okay, but wait a minute. We're talking about the one who's been nominated to
And I'm
run.
talking about JD Vance from
Okay,
Ohio.
okay, but okay, and J.D. Vance has a wife and he has kids, and I would like to ask the listening audience. Then you're telling me that his wife cannot make a conscious decision about her body, that she don't know to make a conscious decision about her body, that their kids are not raised enough, they have enough intelligence to make a conscious decision about their body, that they have to be told how they can, what they can and cannot do for their body. That this is
From old people, old men want to tell them what to do with their body
all
because they
people
want
young
to have
people, but the point is
control.
that you're telling me
And,
that
and
you
women,
cannot
and
have control.
the 45th has 2 daughters. He's got granddaughters. So you telling your daughters and your granddaughters and your nieces and all the other women that are in your life, you don't know how to take care of your own body. So I need to be able to tell you what to do, and you should listen to me.
But there's no consequences to the young man who have gotten you pregnant. Now there's no consequences on him. I mean,
No
to me,
negative consequences.
okay,
You don't have to stay around.
okay. Well, once again, though, that's the whole thing. When I'm asking women, when you stop and think about this, only body who's being punished is you and your doctor. Okay, the man who got you pregnant, in order for you to even be in this situation, there's no repercussions on him, and you're not even asking. The point that I asked you, Mother Love, and I asked all women, why are your why women are not asking men, what is your consequences for you getting me pregnant? Now you tell me the consequences that you want to have for me as the woman if I get pregnant, what I can and cannot do with my body. But what consequences do you have for the guy who got me pregnant? And women are not asking that question to me often enough. What is the responsibility of that man who got you pregnant? And you're not
And
demanding
men
that.
will say, "Well, I know people right now who got kids on the planet who told the girl that he got pregnant. He said, "Well, you didn't tell me I had to use a condom. I ain't got to be responsible for that. You the one slipped up. You should have been ready. Why you? I ain't got to wear a condom. You got to be the one in control." And see, that's where women make their mistakes. A lot of them because they get sweet talked into their underwear, going down on the floor and getting ready to do something with somebody that you really shouldn't even be involved with. And I know about love. I do. I love you immensely. And I couldn't even imagine you telling me or our son telling some girl what to do with her body. That is that you do it together or you don't do it at all.
It's
You
not
are
about
together or
telling,
you
it's
don't do
about,
it at all. You take the full responsibility, 50-50 in
okay,
this,
so why
50-50 on,
so
50-50
why,
on.
and I ask you again, why women are not asking what consequences are to be put on the man who got me pregnant? I mean,
Then the
that's
men will say, "Well, she tricked me. She blackmailed me. She knew
if
I
you're
had a wife. She knew I
you're
ain't
not
gonna take care of that
if you're not
baby."
answering the question that I'm asking. No, you call it trick, however you want to say how she got pregnant. It still was a man there when she got pregnant. And if you have consequences for the woman and what should happen to her because she is pregnant, but there's no consequences for the man who got her
Okay,
pregnant, and
okay.
you're not even trying to
In
bring up,
that case,
you're not bringing that up to say what consequences should happen to him.
okay, well, okay. In that vein, and because a lot of women have the option and the choice to have a baby without a physical man, but they go to a sperm bank and they want to have a baby.
A man
That
was
was so they have
involved.
to have a man in there to dictate
A
with
man
them
was
and tell them
involved.
what to
A
do,
man was
or
still involved. A man was still
their.
involved.
Well, you listen. I ain't gonna have you on the show no more because you want to take over the
I mean,
whole
but
thing.
you said that if the
I know
man was
I'm
involved,
trying
he's
to
still
explain
involved.
something to
If
you.
he gave his sperm, he was still involved.
What
He
about the
was still
women that
involved.
do in vitro fertilization?
The man was still involved.
Amen. She don't know what man it was.
But the man was still involved though. But the man was still involved though. I'm saying there's no way getting around the man being involved though.
She don't know who the
It
man
doesn't
is.
matter if
It's
she
a
know or not.
number.
The man had to be involved. In order for her to get pregnant, a man had to be involved.
So how
She
is he
don't get
supposed to be
pregnant by
involved if he
herself.
don't
She had
know?
to have a sperm. She had to have a sperm. And the sperm comes from a man. So a man
Yes,
was
but it
involved.
don't tell you who the
Somewhere in
man
the
is.
chain. Somewhere in the chain, a man was still involved though, right? A man was still involved somewhere in that
You
chain.
missing the whole point. You
No, I'm
can't
not
just
misquoting.
blanket that with that's for women who are
You
involved in
said you can't, but that is
a
important.
sexual contact. Women that make the decision to have a baby through in vitro fertilization. That's a whole different ball game.
How
That's
is it different?
altogether different because she's
It still
making
took
that choice.
it still took
They
a
still
sperm
want to
from a
take away
man.
that choice from her.
Wait, but it still took a sperm from a man though.
Okay, but
So it doesn't change. Wait a minute.
just because you make a
It
baby
still
don't
goes
make
through.
you a father. Just because you have a baby
It's
does
so,
not make you a mother. It goes
well
more
then,
than to
it
just be a
still took
sperm
them two. It
and an
still
egg.
took them two. It still took them two though. And I'm saying women are not asking the question. What responsibilities are you putting on that man if you're putting these responsibilities on me? Why is that not the discussion out there that women are having to men? Well, if you telling me I gotta have this baby if I get pregnant, no matter how I get pregnant, what responsibility you have to have as the man who got me pregnant?
Oh, well, we're just going to have to leave it right there, Mr. Kennedy. We're going to pick this conversation up later
Yeah.
on in the week. It's Mother Love. Thank you for hanging with me and Mr. Kennedy. You knew we was going to get to an argument because he do it all the time. I tell him all the time. And
Love you.
one day you're going to listen to me. It
Love
ain't going to be today. Yes, it is. I love you all. And remember, no matter how big or tall, short or small, thick or thin, it matters not what skin you're in. Everybody needs